Most of the time when you see me about to do a video, I know that my reputation is one where I've come to be looked upon as being very, very serious at times. But at times I would like to be, a little bit comical, a little bit on the softer side. And this video that we're going to look at is an example of what I mean. It's by an individual named K Gaines, and I will leave his information up for a little while after the video, right after we do our conclusion to the video itself. And really, man, I think that it's a pretty nice video to help individuals, especially my young brothers who are looking to take on family responsibilities, maybe being a husband, being a father. I think this video is perfect to help you get started with that endeavor. Okay? So let's get into the video, man, and let's see what we can find out.
Man, particularly young black man, hit me up being like, yo, I can't wait to be a dad. I can't wait to be a father. And I love that because I think the men that were a generation before us got raised by the men that were a generation before them. And those men didn't really know warm love because a man didn't express those things that way back then.
So now think about that for just a moment, man. Isn't that true? Don't you find that to be the case? Now, I'll take myself as an example. My father, even though it was evident that he loved us, even though it was evident that as his children, he would do whatever he could to help us, my father was the same way. This warm love, hugs and things of that sort. Nah, we didn't really do that. Because he was raised in an atmosphere where his parents didn't do that. But I'm stressing that just because he didn't do that didn't mean that he didn't love us. It's just that kind of love, that kind of show of affection was foreign to him. I remember that even when my little sister would kiss him on the jaw, even his expression would be kind of odd. He didn't really know how to respond. He didn't know how to take it because his whole life had been devoted to a certain kind of manhood, right? But now Mr. Gaines is about to get into something that I think we all, as men, we need to take in and digest, man. Let's get back to it.
I feel like I owe those young men to tell them, like, bro, this is hard because it exposes things about you that you don't know about yourself. It exposes all of your insecurities, and it's a huge emotional undertaking if you do it the right way. So while you see me and Noemi hugged up and loved up on each other, and we got this cute vlog and we make these cute videos and cute pictures, it's because we put in an immense amount of work.
So I have to admit, man, that everything that Mr. Gaines is mentioning is right on point, man. He's a licensed therapist, and so even he is a fan of doing the work. And I know you hear me say that a lot of times, doing the work to become the best version of yourself. Well, of course, it takes on the physical aspect, your health, yes. It takes on the financial aspect, yes. But what's the most important aspect? What do you think? Well, Mr. Gaines is about to explain this to us. Let's get back to the video.
Make this thing happen, man. We do it every day. We be having sit-down vlogs and we be on the cusp of beefing with each other. But we find that one thing in common that just always brings us back to remembering why we're together. So, bro, when you see this and me playing with my baby and it looks really cool and you want to have those moments, just know that that's the upside. It comes with a downside, and it can be incredibly painful if you allow it to be. So before you take on a family, bro, go see somebody about your past, and go see somebody about the trauma that you've endured throughout the course of your life, and start healing. Because if you don't heal from that, you'll have all this and you'll never be happy.
Wow. So that's a powerful point then. I told you he was going to give it to us, right? The traumas that you hold, and you hold some, I guarantee you, because I do. But the traumas that you hold, you need to work these things out. You need to work them out. Because as Mr. Gaines mentioned, you want to be happy. You want your family to be happy. But most of all, man, you do not want to pass those things on. See, we just talked about one of the things that were passed on, the view of warm love between men or from men. Like I mentioned, my father was one who he had difficulties with that. But now I must say, man, that after quite a while and talking with individuals and getting some help myself, I found that it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. When I first became a father, I was kind of set in my ways like my dad. But now I'm happy to say, man, after doing the work, I have no problem hugging my daughter. I have no problem kissing her on the cheek. And you ought to see the response that she gives. Because it's all about showing that you love and appreciate that particular person. So that kind of love is necessary from time to time. And there's no feeling of being awkward anymore. It's not awkward at all. It's almost like it becomes a part of you once you understand what his place is. But like Mr. Gaines said, you have to do the work, man. You got to get in there and do the work. Because especially when you're dealing with your girls, your daughters. I have two just like him. They need that. They need that warm show of affection. They need to be able to see that not only do you work to make sure that they are taken care of, but that you're emotionally invested in them and that you want them to have the best life that they possibly can. And that's what Mr. Gaines is describing. Doing the work so that when things come up, they don't cloud the judgment that's necessary for you to offer that kind of warm love. Like I mentioned, man, it's necessary. It's necessary for both girls and boys. But in order for us to get to that point, we have to do the work. Let's finish it out.
And I don't want that for nobody, especially anybody who thinks that you can just pour water over a lady and a baby and have a happy family overnight. This ain't oatmeal, man.
All right. So now don't you think that was a powerful video, man? And I think really the power comes from a man who has experience, but then at the same time, he's licensed. So he's done the coursework to be able to advise individuals as to how they should go about doing things, right? And I really appreciated the fact that he highlighted the deficiency that some of us grew up with. That warm love was missing. Now, like I mentioned, I'm not saying that love was mentioned. I'm saying the warm love, those shows of affection, maybe we're missing. Because maybe your father had a father that didn't believe that men behaved in that manner. And so he passed it on to your father, and your father passed it on to you. Why are we focusing on the men? Because being honest, men are the individuals who have the most difficulties when it comes to showing this kind of love, this warm, affectionate love, especially in our community. Having to be so guarded all the time, having to worry about the safety of yourself and your family all the time. It's understandable why that may be going lacking. But inside your home, man, with your children, this should be something that's a mainstay. With the individuals that you love, this should be something that's a mainstay. And if it's not there, then that means that we have some work to do. We have some work to do so that we can begin to show this kind of love, because as I mentioned, it's necessary, it's needed. So now, as I promised, man, I was going to put up the information for Mr. Gaines. I think that it's something that is needed. I think the brother's setting a wonderful example in family life. I really do. And so you'll notice there, as I mentioned, he's a licensed therapist and he's a father of two and married, might I add. So every avenue of family life, he has it covered for you, okay? So now, as I mentioned, man, I want to do something a little lighter, a little encouraging. And I hope that's exactly what this video did. Young brothers, if it's your goal to be married, if it's your goal to have children, that's okay. Everything that you hear on the internet is not necessarily true. So you have the tools at your disposal to have a wonderful marriage. You have the tools at your disposal to raise wonderful, healthy, well-adjusted children. It all comes about by the amount of effort and work you're willing to put forth. As always, man, you know I love you. Peace.